Green Arrow issue 50, the final issue of this current Green Arrow series. Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing writing with Javier Fernandez on the art.
And it's long as balls.
It's a longer issue for issue 50.
I'm just gonna be upfront. I did not like this issue.
I
definitely feels like they rushed the ending.
Yeah, I don't really like it that much either. I think, just quickly about the art, Fernandez is usually pretty solid. I thought there was a couple of weird faces in this though, especially with Dinah. There's a couple of pages where she was like kicking or something like that, and she was like screaming at someone, and it just looked weird.
She just looks. Her facial structure looks completely. It's very round.
Very round.
Here, the breakdowns towards the end, though, I thought that really helped with the pacing.
There were some breakdowns in the action where like there's an explosion in one of the houses or something like that, and that looked quite good. There is some good art in here, but
I think it's such a frustration because I know the writers have spoke about how when they were brought on, they had the plans for a relatively extensive run, by all accounts, and then they were told.
That was the Bensons, wasn't it?
No, these ones, the ones doing they're doing this last couple of issues. Kelly and Lansing. They had plans for quite a bit, and then we're told actually you're getting like a handful of issues.
This, I mean, because we complained at the end of the last issue that this, like, out of nowhere, Dinah's been asked to bring Oliver in. It felt like such a random thing, and it still feels that way. Like, this entire issue, it's like the whole thing is her going to Oliver and saying, "Hey, my previous, like, you know, employer essentially wants to take you in. I'm trying to do it peacefully," and the whole thing's about him running away from these people. The entire plot of this issue is just this thing that comes out of nowhere. Like, why did they want him? Like, it turns out it's the box that Martian Manhunter gave him, but it feels so out of nowhere.
How'd they find out about the box?
Yeah, no one knew about the box.
No, it was literally Ollie and Jean.
At the end of the book, we find, Oliver finally looks inside the box and there's nothing. And he basically deduces that Jean just gave him this so he'd feel important, right? Even though as he's walking away at the very end, it starts glowing as if there is something in there, it's just not visible to the eye or whatever.
I think what frustrates me about this is this as part of a larger story with Ollie. I can really see, him being frustrated, but ultimately go, no, Jean gave it him because he doesn't need anything.
Yeah,
if you take away that panel of it glow, it's like no, it's him. John was trusting him to take them down.
Yeah, right.
I think the problem is I don't even blame the writers. Like, even though the writers have done that 2-issue fill-in from before that we didn't like, and they actually referenced that in this.
Yeah, they did that, which I appreciated.
Yeah,
like that was cool.
But I don't blame them. I don't think I think they were handed this job of you have to wrap up this and you have to leave Green Arrow in this position because whatever they're going to do with them in an event or something has to be, he's on the run, he's not Green Arrow anymore, he's left Seattle, he left Dinah, everyone's like away from him, like, and they had to just do all that in an issue, and a lot of it's this action scene, and the action scene stuff's probably the best stuff because at least when it's just about him like dodging bullets and explosions and stuff, it's like, okay, this looks quite good, and it's just an action scene.
When I started it, I was super into it because he's trying to get into somewhere, and you're like, well, where's he trying to get into? And then it's that new character, because they become the citizen. They go, oh, it's you.
Yeah.
And that felt a little rushed too, And I liked all that, and then it just with the stuff with Dinah, and then, this is the second time they've taken a character I was enjoying in the hands of Percy, and just wiped it out.
Like, and again, I don't want to blame Kelly and Lansing. I don't think this is their fault. I mean, I think there is very few writers in the world. This
isn't a Rick Grayson scenario.
Yeah,
right.
We didn't blame Percy for that.
No,
exactly.
Well,
I barely even blame Lobdell for that shite.
No, I do. But that's
because Lobdell was just given the job. I don't think he's not the reason why the change happened.
Yeah, it's not, he didn't make it better, but it wasn't his fault.
So so it leaves off here with Ollie kind of leaving the Green Arrow persona behind and running off into the woods heading to Canada. I don't know, man. It's a bummer.
Yeah, like the more this went, when it got to the ending, it was him being like frustrated because he's a joke to the Justice League. He's not really part of it. Like, I don't know. It feels like they're forcing like a narrative here with him that I don't think
Well-
they've actually set up enough in the run up
No.
until this point.
Do you know
I
what
do
this
like
is?
when,
The only thing I think this really calls back to is the start of the New 52 Justice League
When
stuff.
when he tried to join up and they wouldn't let him.
Yeah, but I mean, we're long past that.
Honestly, at the point where that doesn't even feel like the same character anymore. Like, you know, that early New 52, like, it doesn't feel like that was even really him.
No, even the Lemire. This isn't even the Lemire version. That even though Emiko's here and stuff.
But that was that was a very different character to the early New 52 stuff. It's like, okay, he grew up in Lemire's thing.
And I feel this is the problem with Green Arrow over the course of the last 5 years. It's just been so inconsistent on who he is as a character, and the most consistent he was under Ben Percy.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
partly because
Partly
because he was writing them for like a good 3+ years.
Yeah. And if he is like rogue agent Green Arrow and his whole mission is to be that safety valve.
Which makes me wonder if what they're doing with Oliver, that's, you know, that he was implying here, is something that will be over by the end of the summer. Like, it will be, you know, a quicker thing over the summer rather than spread out over the next year.
Yeah, it's why I wondered if we'll get an announcement at one of the cons.
Yeah.
And I also wish they would get Black Canary under consistency too, because like a lot of the DCU stuff isn't canon anymore, but they really wanted to keep her being in that band because she mentions it here.
Yeah.
And the secret agent
Fate
stuff.
still happened. Dr. Fate still happened from that run.
Yeah, and that's two things, but the rest of them I feel like there's too much going on with Dinah, like secret agent, and she was in a rock band, and she's, you know, Green Arrow's girlfriend, and I just like give me Birds of Prey version of her that's simple and consistent.
A Birds of Prey book, that'd be lovely.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a movie coming. You'll get one.
Yeah.
Green Arrow 50 was kind of rough. Like, it wasn't terrible from start to finish, but ultimately it feels like it's forcing a narrative for the end of it, for where Oliver is, that just feels rushed and kind of unearned.
I did like that part with Dinah, where he's like, well, yeah, she was a master in you know, jiu-jitsu and judo, and just the way that was handled, I thought, like, Ollie talking about her, that there was another part that was really clear. That I thought that
was
the writers had a clear point.
That was the other thing. Like, her and Oliver have been in a good place, relatively speaking, since Rebirth started. And I feel like this just very quickly had to break them up without any, like, build-up. It was just like, oh, she has to take him in, so they're going to have to break up.
Yeah. So that's why, again, we don't want to fault the writers at all on this. It's just, it's a really messy issue that was tasked. Like, I feel like they put 5 issues worth of stuff in one issue.
Yeah.
And let's just let it go.
I like the moment where he's falling through the sky from the plane and she has to, like, soften his landing with the scream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that. That was a good moment.
Touch.
Yeah. So
I hope he was wearing earplugs.
Yeah. What are we rating Green Arrow 50 then, Matt?
I'm in at a 5.5.
Connor?
Straight 5.
I'll go straight 5 as well. So that's not a good average. Green Arrow 50, and that's it's funny because they came on for issue 48, and we were like, oh, 48 was pretty good. That wasn't too bad. 49, okay, not as good, but still, you know. And then 50 is just like, oh.